Welcome back. So we are going to do part 2 of solving quadratics by factoring now. So this video is all about how do we solve when when we get these equations that are not in standard form. Remember, standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So if we look at our first example, that's not in standard form, right? N squared equals negative 8n. Well, oh, and then we could add that it has to equal 0, right? So basically, when they're not in standard form, we want to move everything that's not on our left side of our equation to the left side. So if it's on the right side of our equation, we need to move this over to the other side so that our right side equals 0. Okay? So n squared equals negative 8n. So to move this negative 8n over, we have to do the opposite and add it, right? So to add to both sides. Now we have to kind of think, right? I can't put n squared and 8n together. So I'm just going to write them n squared plus 8n equals 0. Okay, now from yesterday's video or from the video, part 1 of the video, we know that when it's two terms, we want to take out a GCF. So what can I take out of both of these pieces? Well, I can take out an n. I can't take out any numbers for this one today, so I'm just going to take out an n, so n, and then left over, I would have n plus 8 equals 0. Then once we're solving, we're going to say n equals 0, and then n plus 8 equals 0. Subtract 8, n equals negative 8. So our solutions for this one, or our zeros, remember, let's start calling them zeros so that we get used to it. Our zeros of our parabola are n equals 0 and n equals negative 8. All right, so that one was an easy one. Let's double check this one now. Example number 2, n squared minus 4n equals 32. Again, there's still something on this right side of our equation. So we need to take that away and move it so that we get 0 on our right side. So 32 is positive, so I'm going to subtract 32 to move it over to this side. Okay. Again, I can't put 32 with either one of these n squared or 4n, right? There's no n. So I'm just going to write it in our line so that this is our new quadratic. Okay. Then when we're factoring this one, again, remember, a equals 1, b equals negative 4, c equals negative 32. So this one, I make my x, a times c at the top, my b value at the bottom. So a times c, 1 times negative 32 is negative 32. B at the bottom is negative 4. So now we're looking for the factors of 32. And yes, it is negative, but the factors of 32 that add to be 4. So 3 are 1 and 32. What else? Do I have a factor sheet? 32 might be one that's a little bit difficult to find the factors of. 2 and 16. And 4 and 8. So our hint when we are looking for a product or when we're multiplying to be a negative, that means we need to look at our factors and subtract, right? Because one has to be negative, one has to be positive. So if I subtracted these from each other, which one is going to give me negative 4? Right? 1 minus 32, no. 2 minus 16, no. 4 minus 8, right? And we actually put that negative in the right spot. So 4 and negative 8 are my factors. Again, this one is a equals 1, so I can just go straight to putting my double bubble equals 0. So n plus 4 and n minus 8. To finish solving, we just split these up. N plus 4 equals 0. N minus 8 equals 0. And we're all set to solve for n. n equals -4 plus 8 plus 8, n equals 8. So there's my two answers for those. Okay, so again, just to recap, we need to make sure we're getting our right side of our equation to be 0. Let's take a look at this last one because there's a lot going on in this one here. Okay, so look at our right side of our equation. Now there's two things over here that we need to move over. Okay, so right now my easiest thing I'm going to move over is my 5x, right? Plus 5x. Plus 5x. Well, neither one of these have just an x, so I'm actually going to write this out. 2x squared plus 5x plus 7 equals 5. Okay. I put the x in the middle because I'm trying to get standard form, right? ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Well, I still have something else over here on my right side, so I need to subtract 5. This time, we do have just a number here, right? 7, so I can actually take that 5 away from that 7. So I get 2x squared plus 5x plus 7 minus 5 is 2 equals 0. Okay, now I see, okay, I have a number in front of here, 2, 5, and 2. So I'm going to check, can I divide these three by something? Do I have a GCF? No, I don't, because yes, I can divide 2 and 2 by 2, but I can't divide 5 by 2. So that means A is 2, B is 5, and C is 2. So we haven't practiced factoring something when A is greater than 1 in a while, okay? So this means we need to remember that our top is A times C, our bottom is B. So A times C is actually 2 times 2 this time, so 4. B is 5. So what are the factors of 4 that add to be 5? Well, 1 and 4, or 2 and 2. Which one's going to add together to be 5? That one was pretty easy. 4, right? Oops. So now this one, I'm going to show you a different way to factor this. Remember we said you could do the divide by A method, but when we were doing this before, we set up our double bubbles, right? So let's set up our double bubbles. What we did is we put our factors in x, and then we put these factors here, right? Our factors that we found. So x plus 1, x plus 4. But we still have this 2 in front of our x, right? And if we were to multiply these x times x, that doesn't give us 2x squared. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide by a. Okay, so we put it under our number here. So it's still in their bubble, and I'm going to show you what you do. 1 over 2. Can I simplify that? No, I can't. Okay, so I can't simplify it. So my 2 is actually going to go in front of this x. Okay, we call this the slide and divide method, or divide and slide. 4 divided by 2. Can I simplify that? Yes, I can, right? 4 divided by 2 becomes 2. So there's nothing left over that I have to slide over. So now my first parenthesis is 2x plus 1. And my second one is x plus 2, since I divided that, equals 0. All right, so there's another way. It's kind of like that divide by A method I showed you, but it might make a little bit more sense when we slide this 2 over to the front. Okay, if you want to do the box method, you can totally do the box method, whatever you like the most. And if you need a refresher on any of those, ask me in class and we can talk about that. So then we split them, right? 2x plus 1 equals 0, x plus 2 equals 0. And solve. Minus 1, 2x equals -1. So x is not quite by itself yet for this one. So we have to divide by 2. So in this one, x equals -1/2. And then minus 2, x equals -2. All right, so there are our 2 answers for that one. Once you finish this video, you can go ahead and go on to the practice, and then we will go over the practice so you're ready for the mastery quiz. Have a good day.